First of all, like everybody this time of the year, we're just awfully glad to still be playing and excited about the opportunity that we have here this weekend. Probably the greatest venue in college baseball right now. We had the opportunity to play here back in 2009, and just a great facility. Always a great atmosphere here, so I know our kids are looking forward to that. Awfully proud of our team and what we've accomplished up to this point. Certainly these two guys have been a big part of that, and we're looking forward to tomorrow night. I tell you, it's pretty special. Obviously I've never had a guy have a season like that. Certainly when we recruited him, we felt like he had a chance to be a special player. We certainly had hoped that he would develop into that guy that would kind of give us a presence in the middle of our lineup. And last year, like most freshmen, he was making the adjustment to pitching at this level. But it's been fun to watch him develop, and he's very deserving of anything he gets. I can't say enough good things about him as a person off the field. He's a very hard worker, humble kid, and probably, I've said this a lot, as well liked as anyone in our clubhouse, and certainly he's been a big part of our team this year.
I read a little bit about how you guys found him, and I guess, were you surprised more people weren't aware of him, and what was it that you were able to kind of tell him about your program that made him interested? I know he wanted to come to the South.
Well, I think certainly being located in the South helped in that situation. A lot of times kids from up in that part of the country are looking to go to the warmer weather. I think we've been fortunate over the years to have some very good hitters in the middle of our lineup. I think certainly that helped and maybe got his attention a little bit early on in the recruiting process. But the big thing with him and really any guy that we recruit is just having the opportunity to get them on our campus and show them what our program and what our university has to offer. One thing about the recruiting process now, as you guys are well aware, kids are making decisions so early on the front end now. So a lot of times we'll miss out on just getting a kid on our campus. I think the key for us, if we can get a kid on our campus and show them what we have to offer, educate them on Georgia Southern and the tradition that we have around our program that's been there well before I was ever part of Georgia Southern baseball. I mean, you look back at Ron Polk, Jack Stallings before me, a lot of history. In fact, Pete Dunn and I were talking out in the hallway. He was on staff with Ron Polk back in the day. Georgia-South Carolina was a big rivalry. I think at the time maybe South Carolina was an independent, but that was a big rivalry back in those days. And so when we get a kid on campus, we can educate them on our program. I think we have to work harder at it than some of the SEC, ACC programs, and that can be said for any team in our conference or take the Atlantic Sun. I know Stetson probably has to deal with a little bit of the same thing.
Right. Coach, Eric touched on it a little bit before, said you guys' history playing pretty close games with South Carolina the last couple of years. Do you feel like that gives your team a little bit of an advantage going against what might have been, from a defending national champion standpoint, if you got that to play them previously or had some relative success?
Well, certainly I think it gives us some confidence going in. The two games we played back here in '09 was a midweek game and kind of some nasty weather. We were lucky to actually even get that game in that night. And, from what I remember from that game, it was a well-pitched game, a well-played game on both sides. And then last year at our place, a 13-inning game. And in a lot of ways, I think that game kind of epitomized the season for South Carolina. We played pretty good baseball that game. They did as well, and it came down to the bullpen. They kept running arms out of that bullpen, different looks, lefties, righties, down here, up here. I know when they got to Omaha last year and lost, I believe it was the first game out there, if I'm not mistaken. I remember telling some people, hey, if anybody can come back and win, those guys have a deep enough pitching staff to do it. And so I think that's what's made them successful is their pitching and their defense. They really don't do anything to beat themselves. And hey, this is baseball. You got to go out and play the game. And if you go out and if you pitch and if you make the routine plays defensively, oftentimes it just comes down maybe to a ball rolling through the infield or a flare dropping in the outfield. And so I think having played them tough the last 2 years certainly gives our guys some confidence. And we just got to go out, play hard, and execute.
Rick.
Coach, one more question about Victor. As his home run numbers begin to climb, what would be the reaction of members of your own team, opposing team, fans, when he'd be up taking BP?
Well, I tell you, and I've said this a lot lately, it's been fun to watch. And really, I think our team has gotten more excited about this run, with him setting the school record and the Southern Conference record. I really think it kind of became a bigger deal to our team and our fans than it really did to Victor. He just handled himself so well, and he's such a humble young man. He's the same guy now as he was last year. And he's had success, I think, because he has had a good approach. And his approach from at bat to at bat is to go out and do what he needs to do to be productive for our team. It's not a situation where he's just stepping up, always trying to yank a ball out of the yard. A lot of home runs he's hit this year have been balls that he's hit to the opposite field in a couple of situations where he's been trying to hit behind a runner. So he's just blessed with some God-given ability and the strength that he's able to hit balls out to all fields, and at times even with the new bat can miss-hit a ball and still strong enough for the ball to leave the yard.
All right.
Your thoughts on Michael Roth and how dangerous he can be, especially when he starts changing pitching angles?
Well, he's an outstanding pitcher, obviously, and he's their go-to guy. I don't think there's any question about that, and I think it's going to be important for us against a guy like him talking about approach to stay with a good approach against him, and when we do get opportunities to score, we've got to be able to capitalize on them.
Got time for 2 more questions. Travis, go ahead.
Sorry to keep asking you about Victor, but as the season's gone on, the numbers have climbed. Have teams pitched him differently? Are they pitching around him? Does he have enough protection around him to make him pitch?
Well, he's been pitched pretty tough, and he has been pitched around a good bit at times. And again, when you have a guy like that in your lineup, it makes everybody better. And I think it's very important to have a guy with a presence about him there. But no question, he's been pitched around at times. The biggest difference in Victor this year versus last year has been his discipline at the plate. Even last year as a freshman, because of his strength, people would nibble and pitch around him a little bit at times. He had a tendency to chase and get himself out. He's been a more disciplined hitter this year, and that's led to better numbers for him.
Last question, Pete.
Rodney, Coach Tanner brought this up when he was in here. How many home runs might Victor hit with some of the old bats, and when the balls were flying a little bit more for just routine hits?
I don't know. Personally, with the new bats, I kind of like it right now.
Yeah.
I think it's more real baseball. Your good hitters are still good hitters, and you got to be able to execute, play the game. I know for us in our ballpark, with the old bats, it can be a very tough park to pitch in at times. You can make some good pitches and not have anything to show for it. So I think it's more true baseball, and personally, I like it.